Radhe Radhe everybody. How are you all doing? I hope your Gita study is going very well. Last time I think I spoke about a particular course that I had enrolled in September. The course went on for 4 weeks from the School of Bhakti, and the course was by S.B. Keshav Swami. So I really enjoyed his course. The topics were relevant, and the verses from Gita were actually extracted and given in a form where you could apply into those various topics. I think they are still available. These courses were like a live Zoom calls for 4 weeks, weekends, and I think the recorded form of the course may also be available. You can go to schoolofbhakti.com and check it out. But one particular topic where he gave us some verses to think about, journal, learn, get deep into, really caught my attention, and I have notes from all 4 sessions of his and topics. But this one in particular, I wanted to make sure I got into all of these verses. So, somewhere along the lines of conscious living, he had given us 4 main arms of conscious living: stage of a steady mind, how he behaves, how he interacts with the society. The verses are chapter 254 to 72. Attract the all attractive, verses are 12:13 to 12:20. Divine and the demonic, verses 16:1 to 16:3. And who actually is wise, verses 13:8 to 13:12. In this video, I'm not showing anything, I'm not going deep into anything. I am just wanting to select one of this. When I saw this, I knew I need to get into each one of this. But I had just finished study of the second chapter, and we did get deep into these verses. Although getting deep into these verses once never does anything. Of course, I'll revisit them again, but just because I did these very recently, I am more focused on, even when I was just looking at it, I wanted to get into attract the all attractive. What is this about? That is to get closer to God. What actually does God like? Have we ever asked that question? It's about what we like all the time, right? What does God like? Isn't he above likes and dislikes? What could God like? Those are the questions. But if we got into these verses deeply, we will know and come to a conclusion that God does lie beyond likes and dislikes, and that these are means and ways to get closer to God. Anyway, I want to make sure I tab these verses out for my study deeper later. I thought I'll do all of them, but I'm going to focus on each limb, and I'm only focused on the 12th chapter this time. What I do, this is just a study tool or study method video. I'm not going to do a deep dive this time. Let me get into 12:13. I have Prabhupada's version here. Okay, 12:13 to 12:20. These are the verses that they say is about attracting the all attractive. Now I'm taking one of these page tabs. These are available everywhere. People from India also keep messaging me about it. Where did you get this? I live in the United States, but even there we have page tabs. I saw in Amazon India that there are page tabs. Now what I'm going to do is the first verse, 12:13 and 12:14. I'm going to see what it is, like overall, what it is about. Adveshta sarvabhutana maitra karuna evacha nirmamo nirahangkara samadukha sukakshami संतुष्ट सततं योगी यतात्मा दृढ़निश्चयः मयि अर्पिता मनोबुद्धिर यो मद्भक्ता समे प्रियः. So he's talking about one who's not envious, who's kind to all living beings, who does not think himself as a proprietor, who's free from false ego, equal both in happiness and distress, who's always satisfied and engaged in devotional service with determination, and whose mind and intelligence are in agreement with me. He is dear to me. So I am going to say twelve, 13, 12, 14, is qualities, and I think the theme of this is going to be the same, because he's going to say Sachame Priyaha, Same Priyaha. These are the things that I like. This kind of a person is very dear to me. So I might have to give a small inkling of what kind of characteristics is Bhagwan speaking about. So I would say Adveshta Sarva Bhutanam Maitra Karuna Evacha. So non-envious. That's the beginning of the first shloka. And the second one is Santushta Satatam Yogi. It's a very famous shloka, which is non-envious, content. Now I may want to focus on just these two maybe when I study how to develop all this, or I'll take all of these characteristics, go deep into it, see how I may develop it. Look at other shlokas that may be pointing towards how to develop these characteristics. So that's one tab done. The second one is Yasman no Vijate loko lokan no Vijate chayaha harsha marsha bhayodvegair muktoya sachame priyaha. He for whom no one is put into difficulty, who's not disturbed by anxiety, who's steady in happiness and distress. And looks like he did mention steady in happiness and distress earlier too. Sama, dukkha, sukham. And 12:16 is a devotee who is not dependent on the ordinary course of activities, who's pure, expert, without cares, free from all pains, who does not strive for some result, is very dear to me. Sarvarambha Parityagi, that's the key word here. And in here, I would say Harsha, Amarsha, Bhayodvegair. One who's not disturbed by anxiety, one who's steady in happiness and distress. So I'm going to say 12:15, 12:16. The first verse has, for me, the most important thing is steady in happiness and distress, so equanimity. And the second verse, Sarvarambha Parityagi, who's not going to be dependent on ordinary course of activities, who does not care about, results of his endeavors. So, detached from results. And then we have until 20, 17, 18 and 19 says, one who neither grasps pleasure or grief, again the theme of equanimity, who neither laments nor desires, and who renounces both auspicious and inauspicious things, is very dear to me. (18 and 19) say, one who's equal to friends and enemies, who's equipoised in honor and dishonor, heat and cold, happiness and distress, fame and infamy, who's always free from contamination, always silent and satisfied with anything, who doesn't care for any residence, who's fixed in knowledge and engaged in devotional service, is very dear to me. So I'm going to note down 12:17, 12:18, and 12:19. The whole theme is just being equanimous, equanimity again. This is a reminder for me to get into it in detail later. So I'm going to do this. And let's see what 20 is all about. He who follows this imperishable path of devotional service, who completely engages himself with faith, making me the supreme goal. Shraddadana mat parama bhaktaste tivame priyaha. So himself with faith, making me the supreme goal, is very, very dear to me. So mat parama is the key word here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to say God-centric life. Mat Parama. Just take me in everything. Make me the supreme goal. Keep doing your things, but make me your supreme goal. That's what this is about, and that's what I'm going to remind myself. So I have tabbed these, and when I get to the studies, what I'm going to do is come straight here, get into my notes. If I want to focus on this, I'll come to these. I'll look at these and take the keywords. I may highlight the keywords. For example, I'll just do one. Mayarpita Manobuddhir, very important. Santushta Satatam Yogi. Santushta, being content, extremely important. Adveshta, non envious. Sarva Bhutanam, Maitraha, Karuna Evacha, friendly. Karuna, compassionate. Nirmamo, Nirahankara, non egoistic. Maitraha, friendly. Karuna, Samadukha Sukha, Shami, forgiveness. Everything is keyword here. But my focus, when does a verse get very personal? You look at all this and you see where you are limited. So for me, being content and Mayarpita Manobuddhir, these two are very important for my life at this point, this phase of life. These are the things I need to concentrate on. Not that others are not important, but you know where you are lacking and what you need to do. So that's the kind of study I will do with these topics, and I thought I will share that with you, and hopefully this is some help to you in your study and journey with Gita. I hope you're all doing well, and until my next video, Radhe Radhe everyone. Happy Bhagavad Gita studying.